Hi, I'm Queen King. I received this poster a while ago, and here I wanted to counter him back about his negative point of view. So, you were saying that the public addresses don't count as transparency, but there's a classic bait and switch. Blockchain transparency has never meant I post an address and now I am untouchable. It means anyone can follow the address to check the fund flows, LP, transfer records, and well holdings. That is already far more transparent than the traditional finance. You can't say that because of transparency isn't 100%, it actually equals to zero. Next, we're saying anyone can deploy a contract, so the project can't be trusted. But anyone can also start a company, build a website, or develop an app. Does that mean every company in the world should be treated as a scam by default? Open deployment is a core feature of blockchain. What really matters is not whether someone can deploy, but whether the project has audit, whether tokens are locked, whether permissions are reasonable, not jumping to conclusions with a line like even a kid can deploy one. Complexity does not equal scam. Protocols like Aave, Curve, and Pandos all have a very complex mechanisms. Does that mean they are all money laundering tools? DeFi inherently involve yield models, liquidity adjustment, and incentive design. Complexity is an industry characteristic. What should actually be analyzed is the source of yield and the logic of the funds instead of shouting scam the moment something looks complex. Users not understand something does not mean the project is hiding things. Most people doesn't understand AWS architecture, bank clearing systems, or AI models either. But nobody says they must be scammed just because they personally don't understand them. The real focus should be whether the project has public documentation, whether it explains its mechanism, and whether it discloses the risk. You are saying that being able to mint more tokens is dangerous, but many stablecoins such as USDT and USDC can also be minted. The key is not whether minting is possible, but who controls the minting authority, whether there is a governance mechanism, and whether the execution is transparent. Labeling every mintable project as a scam is itself unprofessional. Blacklist and post-trading permissions exist in many compliant stablecoins because they involve hack trading, judicial freezing, and regulatory requirements. You can discuss whether that makes them centralized, but you cannot directly equate it with fraud. Otherwise, USDT and USDC would have to be sentenced to death first. You are saying if LP isn't locked, it can be trusted, but the logic is too absolute. Many mature protocols need flexible liquidity management for market making, migration, and cross-chain operations. What really matters is whether the project has a history of malicious liquidity withdrawal, whether the LP ratio is abnormal, and whether the funds are transparent. Not simply saying unlock LP means rocknet. Calling something Ponzi in a tuxedo is essentially just an emotional level. A real Ponzi scheme depends on whether returns rely entirely on the later participants provided asset liquidity, whether there is a real demand, and whether there is external revenue. You can't automatically call something a Ponzi just because you see high yields. Otherwise, the entire financial market could be dismissed as a Ponzi with one sentence. You say history always repeats itself, but that logic itself has problems. The internet didn't die after the dot-com bubble, and Ethereum didn't die after the ICO collapsed. The fact that are scammers in the industry does not mean the entire industry is a scam. Otherwise, no new industry could ever develop. The funniest thing about this image is that it pastes a bunch of addresses and then pretend to be doing professional analysis. Real on-chain investigation is not copying a few wallet addresses. It requires analyzing the fund path, clustering relationships, transaction timelines, and the cash flow. Simply posting the addresses prove nothing. So the entire image actually has no real evidence chain. There is no on-chain timeline analysis, no fund clustering, no record of the team cashing out, and no RAG process. It mostly uses words like scammer, idiot, and asset liquidity to provoke emotions. A truly professional research report would not be written like this because emotional output is not the same as the fact. All right.